The beautiful angels, highly trained fighter pilots, protect the free world from danger.
The Vortex has done it again. Not only, has it pulled us down into the dregs that it sometimes does, but it's pulled us back down into another traumatic experience. Troma has reared its ugly head yet again this month. And we're talking about Tomcat Angels from whatever year this was. What was it, 1991?
91, yeah.
Yeah, 91. Man, I was really hoping when we spun the wheel and it landed on this last month and I saw it's Troma. Oh God, here we go. I remember seeing something about a parody. So I was thinking maybe in the vein of Hot Shots or something like that.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. No.
Yeah. Well, whenever y'all said it, I've never seen this movie before, and I don't think anybody here had before now either.
No.
But you mentioned on the chat that it was directed by Don Edmonds. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, for anybody who doesn't know, Don Edmonds directed, among many other things, Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS, which is our probably most viewed Grindhouse Gutter video.
Yeah. Our other one of our other series, Grindhouse Gutter. Yeah, that one's done really well. People love that movie.
Yeah, this is not that movie. I mean, there's a couple of scenes you might could see where, okay, this is what Don Edmonds does when there gets to be a little bit of action. And I'm not talking about the Tomcat action because there's few and far between of that, and that's all stock footage. They didn't have the budget of Top Gun here where they could get fighter pilots and set up shots that they could professionally film. No, they just took whatever stock footage they could buy from the military, which is also why I'll explain why I'm wearing this hat.
Yeah.
But no, I'm specifically thinking more like the end of it. Whenever they have there's a scene where these girls bust out, like the Tomcat Angels. We're not really going into spoilers. Not that there's that many spoilers to be given away here. Let's just say that the terrorists take them hostage. Near the end, they come out and they end up in their underwear because they have to, because it's a Don Edmonds movie.
Yeah.
But the girls end up in their underwear running out with Uzis and, well, not Uzis, but with machine guns. And with the guys that are also helping to rescue them. They get in a Jeep and they take off, and then it's them blowing away bad guys from the back of this truck and the back of this Jeep or whatever. That's where it's a Don Edmonds movie, right? You got, scantily clad women with machine guns shooting at things with, in a military, in an action scene, albeit very, very much more low budget than even most of Don Edmonds' 70s movies were.
And trust me, every way that he is explaining this is far more entertaining and interesting than the actual application of this video.
Definitely, yeah, because it sounds way more interesting. I mean, when you say Don Edmonds and you explain the way I just explained it definitely does sound more entertaining than what you.
Yeah,
get.
if I've never seen this, like most people watching this probably haven't, because we had not, I'd be like, man, that sounds like something I might want to check out.
Yeah, it's not even a so bad it's good kind of a thing either. It's just boring. It's and even that there's a lot of sex scenes. There's a lot of sex scenes in the movie. Even those managed to be boring, and the only one that's not is only because it's got comedic element. Is the guy when they're having sex and he's like take me to the bed or whatever, and then they stay in their position as he walks her to the bed, and then they're joking sort of about things as he's going whatever. I mean, that was just kind of funny or amusing, but I mean, it's unfortunately, like I said, it's a wasted Don Edmonds movie, and this is towards the end of his career.
No, as far as the directing part of his career, this was the end of his career.
This was it, yeah.
Yeah, he never directed another movie.
Yeah, so I mean, he was probably just dialing this in. They threw some money his way, and he was able to put something together, and
well, it is Troma, so I'm sure they did it for like $100 and a box of donuts or something, with stock footage, and then 3 or 4 women that are willing to get nude. That's all they needed, Now,
some other interesting things going on around this time was, for anybody out there might remember, I mean, it was in the news, it was all over the place. Now, this hat, I was in the Navy, And I went in 1992, 1 year after this movie was made. 1 year also after Tailhook, which was it was a huge Navy scandal, a sex scandal involving Navy captains and women and things, and in some hotel that they were having a party at or whatever, right? And so that was a huge scandal. I don't know if this movie was made before or after that, whatever, but and then also on the first women fighter pilots actually entering into the Navy, going through the training process and all that stuff. Now I was on the USS Abraham Lincoln, and what another thing makes it a small world and weird coincidence is a lot of the stock footage in this movie that we were talking about. Uh, I could tell because I saw it on the tail fins. It was this skull and crossbones, which was the emblem of the VF-84 Jolly Rogers F-14 Tomcat Squadron. They were stationed on board the USS Abraham Lincoln. 1 year after this movie came out in 1992, I was stationed on board the USS Abraham Lincoln, launching these same planes and others, off of all the aircraft carriers, part of the catapult division.
So you need
which
to
is
come.
just a weird coincidence.
So what everything you're saying, I'm gonna, distill it down to this. What you're telling us is you backdoored this movie in, so you could talk about it because this is the training video that they showed you guys on the ship.
Yeah, that's it. No,
yeah. I figured.
Total coincidence. Yeah,
yeah.
That really was.
I think backdoor is the right term to use here.
Well, yeah. Somebody got backdoored.
It was us for watching.
We did when we spun the wheel, and then yeah. This was bad.
And there was another coincidence, so I won't go down too far deep into this because it's the controversies over it and all that stuff. But I was on the Lincoln when the first female pilot, F-14 pilot, was on there, and it was Cara Holtgreen, and she ended up basically ended up dying from crashing into the water, but it was mechanical issue and some other things are going on. But we won't go down into if you want to look it up, look up the first F-14 fighter pilot. It's on YouTube and all that stuff. We aren't gonna necessarily go down that path. But it's just another coincidence of like this movie being about the first F-14 Tomcat female pilots, and it didn't go quite that way for the act in the real world or whatever.
So what you're saying is this is not a training video. It's not, despite what I said. It's not a training video, and it's also not a historical documentary.
No,
definitely not. Pretty fun. The other funny scene in here was in the gym. Remember the gym scene at the beginning?
How could you?
That's straight out of an '80s, more of an '80s type feel, right? These scantily clad women pilots. I mean, they're pilots in this movie, but just scantily clad women in a gym working out, talking about shit or whatever, right?
Very Troma, wearing bikinis, like talking about how many dudes they're going to take down in planes.
Yeah. Now that was pretty funny, but not enough to lift up this movie for you to like. The only people that would be interested in this movie at all would be somebody like me who is maybe in the Navy, and that's just for the stock footage. That's basically it. Which also, mentioning that, the stock footage, it was from various sources, the one I just mentioned, but whenever there was some scene that needed to have a dogfight between, say, the women in the F-14s and whatever enemy aircraft they were engaging in, of course, that was stock footage, but it really wasn't a dogfight. It would be F-14 stock footage cut to fake canopy over these women to make it look like they're in a canopy of in an F-14, and then cut to them launching a missile, and a plane stock footage launches a missile and hits different stock footage of a plane blowing up that was black and white and could have been from the Korean War or World War II even, I don't know.
And probably was.
Yeah. So yeah, even the stock footage was like not matching other stock footage. I mean, it's just whatever. They did what they could do with the money they had, I'm sure, but not enough to make this movie that entertaining enough to watch.
Well, the real entertaining factor here is what are we going to give it? Now, we usually do a consensus rating. We come together beforehand. We didn't even bother to do that. So I guess the real question is, how low do you want to go? The lowest rated movie that we've done here on Video Vortex was actually just back in September, the last Troma movie that we did.
Oh, yeah.
Stuck on You. Stuck on You.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, I think this, I don't even remember. I don't even remember that one.
Just remember that it was very corny, and there was a judge that was trying to convince this couple to stay together. Remember?
Okay, yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah. This is at least more entertaining than that. Yeah. And that's probably only due to, two factors. Me, it's the Navy stock footage thing. But yeah, I did just Don Edmonds.
And there's a bunch of sex, so at least there's nudity.
Yeah.
The only other lowest rated movies we've done was the next lowest was Amityville: A New Generation, which we all hated. We gave that a 1.25 stars on the Vortex rating. That's 0 through 10, by the way. And then we gave Sharknado 4, The Fourth Awakens, 1.5 stars. So those are our 3 lowest. So
I think it's at least as on par with those, if not better, at least by a little bit than those. I don't know.
What do you think, Donnie? I mean, it's tough, man.
It was the entire movie was tough to get through, man.
Yeah. I almost gave up.
Yeah.
About halfway through, I'm like, fuck this. I mean, I get the point. Fuck this. You knew this was gonna, not giving spoilers, but you knew probably how it was gonna end. Let's just fucking wrap it up. We gave those respectively a 1.25 stars, and a 1.5 stars. So I wouldn't go any higher than any of those. So me personally, I'd say I'll give it a 1.25 stars just because it had nudity. That's it. I mean, because otherwise you're going
Sounds good to me.
One or lower, and that's lower than Stuck on You. So
that might be a little generous, but
well, that's out of 10, though, dude. I mean, that's
out of 10.
Yeah, so that's like giving something a 1/4 star on a 5-star scale. So.
Well, and I was thinking, like, I guess kind of like my scale. Like, would I watch it again? There's no fucking way I'd watch this again. But,
No. I'd rather go find all the stock footage that they used and just watch that for an hour and a half.
Actually, watch somebody watching the stock footage as is. They're like, yeah, that's good. Let's get this one.
It's just smoke. Watching the stock footage, like, that was much more entertaining. Absolutely. That was bad. I never want to experience that again. Thank you, Troma. Some of the worst experiences we've had on Video Vortex and on Traumatic Experience was because of Troma. I mean, obviously, Traumatic Experience, it ended 4 episodes because it was so bad.
I think everybody, including us, thinks when you think Troma, you think Toxic Avenger, Class of Nukem High, Sergeant Kabuki, man, all these movies in your head that stick out as being entertaining and fun.
Yeah.
But then you get to the reality of it that those entertaining and fun Troma movies are a dime a dozen. Right?
Yeah, there's out of the 100 movies.
I mean, not a dime a dozen. Well,
I don't know. I don't know how many movies they've done, but it's been north of 100 or so easily. It's been a lot of movies.
Yeah.
There's maybe the thing that I have found. There's maybe only 6 of them. There's maybe like 6 to a dozen that are watchable, and all the rest are just garbage.
Yeah. The dime a dozen analogy was the opposite of what I was going for there.
Yeah, it's more like
finding a needle in the haystack.
Penny, penny.
It's a good one.
Penny every now and then or something. And we don't make pennies anymore, so we're screwed. Well, anyways, there you go. Next month, we're gonna try to mix things up a little bit here, and we're gonna try to lean more horror coming out for the Video Vortex, just to see, so that's what you can expect, a little bit more horror here, because I think we'd all have a little bit more fun with that at the least, right?
Yeah.
So we spun the wheel and we landed on Xtro. XTRO, Xtro from 1982, which I've heard is maybe a little controversial, a little odd. I don't know. I don't know much about it. We'll find out together, right?
It's an entertainment. We've seen that.
I can tell that's all y'all are going to say. So
yeah.
Just leave it there.
Just let everybody y'all watch it and see what you think, and anybody else out there listening to this that wants to watch it before we talk about it.
Yeah,
that's all we'll say.
Not that we want it to disappear from YouTube, but here's the hint: it's here on YouTube to go watch. So if you want to dig around, you can find a copy here on YouTube, and then go watch it, and then we'll talk about it next month. So that is it. Stick around here on the channel for everything else we do, including Grindhouse Gutter, Hammer Horror and Order. Those are lots of fun. New episodes of the All American Spook Show podcast come out every Monday at 6 p.m. East, wherever you get your podcast, or right here on the channel. So stick around for all that at spookshow.com, and we thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you next month.
Naked, raw power and high-tech flying adventure that grabs you and never lets you go.